Meanwhile, I'm sorry, I'm gonna talk a little shit right now.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it's usually the short, unfit, scruffy ass looking dudes who are like, oh my God, I need a dime. And, she needs to work out. And, look, this one had 2 kids and she still looks like that. And I'm like, yo, you fell off. You didn't have any kids. You're not doing anything. Like, please stop. Are you taking care of yourself? Because if you have a 6-pack, maybe go talk to your girl, okay? But if you don't have a 6-pack, sit down and shut your damn mouth. That's how I feel.
Welcome back to It Right.
I'm Elle.
And I'm Fab.
And here at Relate Right, we're all about relationships and helping you connect better with each other. And today we're going to talk about something that unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on the case, we can all relate to, and it's navigating breakups. %50 of all marriages in America end in divorce. This is first marriages.
Yeah.
And in Australia, it's 45%. What a crazy stat. So this is as of 2023.
Yeah.
It's actually increased. I mean, look, divorce rates fluctuate, but it's actually increased post-COVID, which I don't think anybody's surprised about.
And the thing is, like, we just talk about marriage.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And if we talk about breaking point, I feel like the rate would be like 70.
It is. It's 72%.
70, yeah.
It's 72% of breakups.
Exactly.
I mean, with these stats, obviously they fluctuate, but these endings of relationships have seen such an increase over the last few years with just like the rise of women focusing on themselves.
Yeah.
And kind of feeling like, hey, I don't need to put up with this. I'm entitled to happiness. I'm also a human. I also deserve to be, treated a certain way.
Yeah. It's one of the reason. One of the reason. You also, I always say that, but you also, for me, have the social media play a big part in this.
Yeah.
We are close to so many options.
Yeah.
Every day in our face. So soon as you have a problem, the solution is in your phone.
Yeah.
The solution is on the TV.
Yeah.
They show you that everywhere, in every show as well, when you watch Netflix and all these things. So there is so many things who lead to those stats as well. On top of the fact that now we are disconnected from each other.
Oh, for sure.
In a connected world.
That's actually so true. Like, gone are the days when, you're living in a small town and you meet a girl and she's just like the one. Because you know everybody in town, but you meet this one girl and you see her and that's your girl. Yeah. And you get married and you live. Now, I'm not saying you live happily ever after, but that's it.
Yeah, it's more precious. Because at the same time, when you see this girl, you don't see a bunch of girls.
Right.
Yeah. Or you don't talk to a bunch of girls.
Yeah, exactly.
Every day.
Exactly. Yeah.
Or you don't even have the possibility to talk about a bunch of... Yeah, you can talk about other girls, Yeah. But like you say, you're in town, we talk about, for those who know, what was the life before social media, but because
we kind of know.
We kind of know. Yeah. We are the generation who...
It was like right on the middle, in the middle, right?
Yeah.
Like we had it without social media and then with, so we've seen that transition.
Exactly. And those rates will increase for me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, and this is the other thing, like people are waiting to get married now. They're waiting longer.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, especially from a woman's perspective, we want to get our education. We want to solidify our careers.
Yeah.
We want to focus on, creating something of ourselves. And then it's time to settle down. We also want to have fun in our 20s.
Yeah.
And so when you look at what point people are getting divorced from their first marriage, it's around 41 years old in the US.
Yeah.
But, marriages on average last 13 years. So
Okay.
if you do the math,
Yeah.
people are getting married on average in their late 20s or
Yeah,
early
30,
30s.
yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. And at that time, you would really think you would know exactly what you're looking for and what you want. And somehow I mean, 50% is a lot. 50% of failed marriages is a lot.
And you know what those stats just show us as well? We became an adult
Yeah. Way later.
way later than before.
Yeah.
So before, for example, when I talk about my parents
Yeah.
and your parents, at 20 years old, you are looking to build your house because you have already child
Yes.
and your wife.
Right. Right.
So you are not in the same mindset. At 30 years old, it's when you start to think about that in this day and age.
It's true.
Not
We're
for
talking
everyone, of course,
majority.
but we talk
Yeah.
about the majority now who live in those society,
I mean,
and that's crazy. That's
Yeah.
crazy. It's 10 years
right.
difference.
Right.
It's the same, and that's why you have this rate as well about the fact that you find your wife on 30,
Yeah.
you marriage at 32, 33, I don't know, whatever. 10 years, 13 years, 40 years old. Boom. The end
And
of your marriage.
honestly, I don't know what's better because if I think about like my great grandma,
Yeah.
right? She got married at 15, right?
Yeah.
She had like 9 kids
Yeah.
and she lived with her husband. They were in love. He was like 20, 26 or something, which now would be considered, illegal and also frowned upon.
Yeah.
But then like my grandma had 2 kids and got married in her 20s. And my mom, 1 kid, got married in her 20s. And it's like the generational gap is so real
Yeah.
because it's like moving at such a crazy rate.
Yeah.
Like we went from getting married at 15 only like 2 generations ago and having 10 kids to having a single parent household.
Single parent household, and
Right?
as well. I said that in a previous podcast. The system doesn't help us
No.
to make those stats better.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because as well as a human, you adapt yourself to your environment,
Of
and
course.
if your environment is not a good one for you to have kids and a lot of kids, a big family,
Right.
because of the price of living,
Yeah.
the price of everything,
Yeah.
and how much, how expensive and child can be in your
Oh.
life, so when you start to think about that.
Well, the stresses of the Western world, modern world, whatever you want to call it, are very different from the stresses that
Yeah.
they had to endure in the past.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And back then, as children, I don't know that they necessarily had a childhood the way that children nowadays do. And one would argue that we mature later, and that's maybe because we're raised in comfort. And it's the same, when you think about us wanting to focus on our careers, wanting to finish university, wanting to have fun years, wanting to travel, men and women.
Yeah.
Marriage is no longer the things that kids dream about.
Come before all these things.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not like, back in the day you would be 10 years old and you'd be thinking, my life is going to be getting married, having kids, and building a family and doing family stuff and working, And now life is very individualistic, and it's kind of like, well, I'm going to focus on me, build me up.
Yeah.
And when I'm done doing that, whenever that may be, mid-30s, then I'm going to think about settling down.
Exactly. Selfishness.
Yeah, but is it's not all bad, I don't think.
It's not all about, but it's all about you all the time, and that's the thing as well. It's
right.
It's more about us individual.
And that's the thing that I
Not
find.
community anymore.
I agree.
No community.
But it's because as humans, I feel like we don't know balance. So we either like go all the way left field and have like 20 kids at 15, Or we we decide that getting married at 35 and having our first kid at 40 is the way to go because, because we focus on ourselves. So it's like, where's the balance? Where's the balance? We don't have that balance.
But how can you have balance? Again, it's this system. Where is the balance in this system? Well, they try to tell you if you're not like this girl that you see on Instagram who have kids, had kids at 25
Right.
and make her first million at 26,
Yes.
then you're a shit
Well,
human.
and that's
For example,
such a great point because it brings me to how do people break up? And compare culture is such a big thing. So
Oh
social
my God.
media,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
compare
Oh, yeah.
culture is so crazy. Like, oh my God, it's you could have a great relationship, but he doesn't surprise you with flowers or
Yeah.
he doesn't do grand romantic gestures, but your friend's husband does because you saw it on Instagram and all of a sudden you guys are fighting
Yeah.
when you wouldn't have been.
Social media. Most of the thing is fake in there. So when you compare yourself with a fake story,
Right.
you're wrong. But you don't even know that. You don't even know that. You don't even see the real life or the real parameter. And for you, you think that it's real. It's even more than real. It's how it should be.
Right.
And that's the thing that's
Right.
crazy, in your mind. And sometimes people who's not aware about it or forget about it, because sometimes you can tell yourself, oh, it's fake, but as you're watching a lot of things, it's go into your head and you forget that it's fake.
Yeah,
And
because
sometimes
you
you take
see
it
multiple people with the same approach.
exactly, and you see, yeah, like you said, multiple people. So like, so my life is shit. Finally,
Right.
finally, you weren't thinking about that.
Yes.
So you're like, oh,
Yes.
I could find better.
But men and women.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, look. His wife had a baby and she's still skinny.
She's still exactly.
You know what I mean? Or her husband works a lot, but he buys her stuff and takes her on holidays, but mine doesn't.
Yeah.
And it's that constant comparing and feeling like your life isn't good enough and not appreciating what you have in front of you because nobody posts negative things.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it's
Nobody.
like, not that I'm not saying that we should.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that a post is literally a moment in time. It could have happened a year ago.
But I want to rectify something.
Yeah.
Nobody show negative things. Not really. Even the negative things that they are showing, it's calculated.
Oh, yeah.
You see?
True.
And that's the thing as well.
Yeah.
Even in the other sense, you can be manipulated.
It's so true because, yeah, like you'll see, like, I don't know if you know Bad Baby. That little girl, Catch Me Outside, Dr. Phil. Yeah. Anyway, so she just had a baby with this man.
Okay.
And she posted on her social media how she got beat up. And she said she posted it to help him out. And there's all these comments about how she should leave him and how, she's looking for attention or, that there's a baby. The baby's going to grow up thinking abuse is okay. And everybody's putting their opinion on it, When I think about that, it's such a strategic thing. It's like are you raising awareness for abuse?
Yes.
Because she's gotten in a lot of fights before, like with other women. Are you doing it for empathy and sympathy? Are you doing it for clout? Like, what are you doing it for? Because 2, 3, 4 days later, she was seen with him again. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the thing. And she got 500,000 followers.
That
Just
girl
with this post,
has millions and millions.
No,
but yes,
with
but
this
just
post,
with that
just with
post,
this-
because
just
people
for
can
example.
relate to that.
Exactly.
People can relate to putting up with such things and not breaking up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying about the positive and the negative content on Instagram.
Yep.
They are calculated. And also, people look like us sometimes. Sometimes physically,
Yeah.
sometimes mentally, I would say. And that's why we relate with those videos.
Yes.
because they look like us. We follow them because they look like us, or we want to look
To
like
look
them.
like them, yes.
But when they look like us, in terms of their life or what they are showing as well,
Yeah.
then we believe even more
Yeah.
that I'm with my girlfriend, and every week we are in another country.
Right.
You know,
Right.
that's the life. If you don't do that,
Your life is
your
boring.
life is boring, bro.
Right.
And you're here working, and you have your plan, and you forget your plan. You forget your plan. You forget your goals sometimes.
And as we talk about abuse, for example, as a reason to break up, I just really want to say lucky are the people who break up, because some people don't get to break up.
Yeah.
And it's such a big lesson because, again, these stats, they don't include all the lives lost from domestic violence. So to break up can
That's
be
true.
a real blessing.
That's true.
It can be a real blessing. And look, a majority of people break up for, reasons that are not so drastic and horrific.
Of course.
But, some of the reasons are just as simple as growing apart, being together for ages and growing apart.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not because you break up that you had major problem in your relationship. Sometimes it's just like it's life. It's life. You are not maybe the same as you were before, and your partner as well doesn't understand you anymore,
Right.
or you have different view on what life should be and what happiness should be.
Yes.
So sometimes you have to understand that you can try to work on it,
Yeah.
but sometimes it won't work.
Yeah, it's true. I think people now, again, with this freedom of like self evolution,
Yeah.
both parties tend to evolve into different people if they start relationships young.
Yeah.
Whereas before that really wasn't an option. Like one would really just follow the other.
Yeah. 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 The
and
woman in general.
Exactly. And now people that start out in their 20s can think, okay, great, we're going to have this great relationship and this is what it's going to look like. By the time they're 30, they're like, yo, like we completely grew apart. And that's a lot of the time because they were preoccupied by all these fun things in school and work and travel and all these other things. And they didn't really have time
Yeah.
for the connectedness or to focus on the relationship.
Connection between man and woman, it's a big problem. It's a big problem on how breakups happen.
For sure.
It's a big problem. And we talk about it as well in previous podcasts, but it's educational.
Yeah.
It's educational. No one teach you
No.
how to manage your relationship.
No.
No one teach you how to manage your own emotion.
Right.
Some I would say maybe some family are better than others.
Sure.
But in generally, when we are growing at 30 years old, for example, even at 13 years old, we still are looking to understand ourselves, our own self, to understand our emotion, to understand how to deal with certain emotion
For sure.
that we have since maybe we have child when
Yeah.
we have maybe when we were a child, and they are just growing with us.
Yeah.
So it took time, even for me. How many times I tell you, oh, I just realized that that's why I'm interacting like that with my father. Because, for
Right.
example, I had this and this and that
Right.
problem with him before. Now I remember, but you have to do this I don't know how to say, this work on you,
Of course.
constantly. I would say every day,
Oh, 1,000%.
every day. And with the life that we have now, working, when you have child, when you are already in a relationship, you don't have time sometimes to think about that. You don't, if you know, you don't have time.
The days are just like flowing one
Yeah,
into the
you
other. They're
work,
so
you
fast.
go home, you have
Right.
child. The weekend you have to do something. It's a big privilege for you to be able now to understand yourself, to take a time to understand yourself, to have days that you are looking for yourself and you're questioning yourself about the different, uh, uh, not always trauma, but different, how to understand your feeling. You know what I mean?
I completely agree. I think our parents, our grandparents, they had different challenges.
Yeah.
And whilst the stresses were different, I don't think self-reflection was a part of their
Yeah.
routine at any point in
Yeah.
life. Because it just was never really talked about, but also they didn't have time for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is an incredible privilege to be able to self-assess and to, I would say, grow emotionally. Because we see a lot of adults who are still very emotionally immature. I was one of them. I'm not saying I've like reached, the epitome of emotional maturity. No, but well into my, late 20s, I did not realize how reactive I was, how all these, like you said, all these traumas from the past really influenced the way that I think, the way that I react, the way that I behave.
The way you understand certain situations.
Right. Why I get triggered about certain things. And it was the privilege of having the time to self-reflect and to work on myself that helped me tune them. I don't think you ever reach like a point where you're like, oh wow, I'm just so perfect. No, of course not. That's crazy. Like, we're learners. That's what we're here for.
Exactly.
On this earth.
And you see, you said that as well, but that's another point of how breakups happen.
Right.
It's like in the relationship, you always have to learn about your partner. It will never finish.
Yes.
And that's the thing as well. We hear that. I hear that a lot. Oh, that's my wife. Well, we are here. We are every day together. I know her.
Yeah, I know her like the back of my
I know her,
hand. I
exactly.
know her better than she
No,
knows
you don't.
herself.
No,
Yeah.
you don't. Even after 40 years.
That's
No,
true.
you don't. You have always some things to learn. Otherwise, why you still in a relationship? You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, and that's very important.
Well, humans
That's
are
very
like
important.
onions, they say. We got lots of layers.
Yeah.
You got to peel them away slowly.
Yeah.
You know? Some
Slowly.
make you cry. Some don't.
Yeah,
No,
that's true.
but-
That's true.
No, but seriously, like, all right, outside of growing apart,
Yeah.
I think, cheating is a big reason why people break up, but it's not the biggest reason. It's not the biggest reason. Finances is a huge reason.
I think finance is a big one, but I would say finance leads to the cheating thing. You know what I mean?
I think you could argue that any problem leads to cheating, because that's the thing.
Fact.
That's the thing. Like,
Real fact.
kids, finances, loss of attraction,
Yes.
loss of being in love.
If you talk about each point, finance, struggling, it's very, 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 very hard. Even to be patient on the lack of whatever your partner is or have. When you struggle at the same time financially, you don't have patience to do that. You know, in this world, because if you lost your job, for example, and you were two, and you were paying, everything was calculated by both of you, then there is a big problem.
Yes.
So, like you said, the financial aspect now, it's a huge problem, because the price of living is expensive. It's not like before. Yeah, you could maybe lost your job. Like when I say before, a few years before, imagine your wife working. you can still
manage.
it, you know, the time for you to find
Yeah.
another job. But now you lost your job now. The next week it's already a problem.
You know, but
You know what I mean?
I would argue that that's also that entitlement of we gotta go halves, and then the value that people put on their contribution. You know, I found that the men of this generation really put a lot of value on their financial contributions and think that their lack of contribution in every other area of the relationship is acceptable.
Because they provide the financial.
Right. Right. But then they minimize the amount of work and effort that it goes into, you know, raising a kid, keeping a household, making life easy, cooking, cleaning, shopping, running errands, keeping fit. All of these other things are completely minimized and almost even worthless to them, because there's no financial contribution. But, you know, studies have actually found that a housewife works about 90 hours a week.
Yeah. Yeah.
So go try pay a cleaner, go try pay a babysitter, go try, you know, pay
Play a
some.
chef.
That's what I'm saying. So like it's so undervalued.
Yeah.
And look, and I'm not trying to. It's not a gender war here, but it's just an example of how people can minimize or maximize the value of contribution that they bring to the table.
Yeah, because also you have to say that the man who's working and go back home think that the wife didn't do nothing.
She's been chilling all day.
She be chilling with the child.
Yeah.
And we've seen that as well when you just try to say to the man, okay, today I'm leaving, you keep the child. When you come back, he's out of it.
Right.
He's out of it. He's like, never. Don't leave
Right.
me again.
Right. Right.
Because they don't understand. Most of the people don't understand that it's not that it's so hard to take care of a child, but it takes your energy. The child have a lot of energy. You know, the house, the child. Imagine if you're working from home at the same time. So it's a lot of energy. And I feel like also, like you said, the fact that everything is separate, like woman, that's your job.
Yeah.
And me, I'm the provider.
Yes. I can't take out the trash or wash 5 dishes because I work today. What did you do? You know what I'm saying? It's just all these things that are they sound small.
Yeah.
They sound small. And then the woman, you know, I've had plenty of examples around me where the woman will be like, oh, he comes home at 7:00 at night. He's purposefully working late, not to help me. And then when he comes, I'm so tired, he doesn't even want to change a diaper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's also...
It's a fighting
exactly.
fighting process between each other, while you should always think in team. But that's where as well come the selfishness as well. I do that, you do that.
Right.
I do more, you should do that because I did that already.
Right.
You know, so I'm working, I'm providing. It's enough. Without me, you wouldn't be able to eat.
Yeah.
And the girl gonna say, but I'm working too. And at the same time, I'm taking care of the child and everything. So where are you?
Right.
You know? So that's important.
And just you just made me think, like, well, all these, like, you know, issues that seem a little bit small. A lot of people, even people who are not married, they turn to couples therapy.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, infidelity, these small problems, you know, past trauma, whatever it is, people think that couples therapy is going to fix it.
It's going to fix it, yeah. It's a trend as well, I feel like, for me.
Yes.
Since few years. I feel like it's a trend from even show TV. Because you see that all the time in show TV. Oh, yeah, we're in couple therapy.
Yeah, well...
Oh, we're in couple therapy.
Like, everybody says, oh, yeah, couples therapy, in such a proud voice.
Yeah.
Which I definitely agree with it if you want to break up. So...
Yeah.
if you want to fix your relationship and you want to do therapy, do individual therapy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if you want to do couples therapy, best believe that therapist is going to take your hour of complaining about each other
Yeah.
and they're going to find 50 more issues that you didn't know you had
Yeah.
and put them on the table.
For you to come back in the next station.
Right. For you to start using those issues against each other. I'm just telling you that right now.
Some people may gonna tell us, but it worked for me. We don't say that it's all the time the same, but most of the time for me, I'm totally agree with you.
Right.
How someone who was not there when you have whatever problem that you have with your partner, who don't know you from before, from now, and from the future even, they don't know you.
Right.
They will be able to understand you in 1-2 hours, whatever hours you have, and fix your problem inside.
Please stop.
No.
Please. And the other thing is like, maybe if you were going weekly, maybe, I don't know. And if you're both so committed and using the communication tools, you know, with 100% effort,
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe.
Maybe.
However, you're not, nobody is paying $200 a week to go to therapy. You're going to go once a month. You're going to have 1 hour between the two of you.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's half an hour
Yeah.
for somebody who doesn't know you to tell you in a calm voice that you got more problems than you thought you had.
But do you think it's because as well they don't know the solution, or they don't know by which step to start to resolve things, and they think that maybe this person who's a professional
That's exactly why. Yeah.
will give them the solution about which step to start,
That's right. That's why.
and give them the guide.
Most people go there for the tools. But that's not, they get the tools, but they also get a lot more than what they asked for. You know what I mean? And I think, like I said, if you want to break up in the most calmest way, in the most productive way,
Introduce a third part.
go to couples therapy and tell them, we're looking to break up. Please help us on this path.
Yeah.
Don't go there talking about you want to save the relationship.
For me, it's a bit the same as well when you talk to your friend
Yeah.
about your problem.
Oh, yeah.
You need to be careful as well. You need to be careful. Because your friend only have one side
True.
of the explanation. And I always say that you, as a friend, you should never go into the problem of your friend. Because you're not there. Of course, your friend going to tell you what they think.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But you don't know what the partner think. You don't know why something happened. You know?
It's true.
So you always have to be careful when you give an advice about this. You know, because you could be a part of the breakup as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Indirectly.
Yeah, I get that. And I think, when I was younger,
You
I
say,
didn't
"Oh,
see
fuck
that at
him,
all.
Fuck him.
Wow.
Oh yeah, look how many men waiting for. No. You need to be careful.
I mean,
And even
I think like having your friends as therapy is really good. It's just, it's all about how you speak about your problems and about your partner. So you could tell your friends like, hey, yo, like we're having this problem. Because you need to vent a little bit. But if you're starting to say, oh, he's like this and he's like that and I can't stand him and, I should leave him. That's a whole different, that's completely different than talking about an issue that you're struggling with. You know what I mean? Or that you're trying to work through. So that's definitely something that I learned as well. But I think if you get to a point where you're talking shit about your partner, I think it's a little bit too late already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing as well that we have, it's like losing attraction for each other. This is mixed with social media and comparison as well. The physical attraction. Because like you said just before, when a woman have a child, when they are pregnant, and you take a little bit of weight, I think this weight problem in the world it's a big problem, and it's a big reason of how people or why people are breaking up as well.
Okay.
Because you're looking all those gym fit men and girl, huh? Who's like that 24/7 all year, and you watch your woman who have 2 kids,
Right.
huh? Who's not like that, but that's what you want.
Right.
You know what I mean? You start to compare,
I agree.
and
And
you lose
the
the
attraction.
physical attraction.
Meanwhile, I'm sorry, I'm gonna talk a little shit right now.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it's usually the short, unfit, scruffy ass looking dudes who are like, oh my God, I need a dime. And, she needs to work out. And, look, this one had 2 kids and she still looks like that. And I'm like, yo, you fell off. You didn't have any kids. You're not doing anything. Like, please stop. Are you taking care of yourself? Because if you have a 6-pack, maybe go talk to your girl, okay? But if you don't have a 6-pack, sit down and shut your damn mouth. That's how I feel.
Okay, Elma, she had something on her heart to say to you guys. I mean, I'm agree.
Yo,
I'm agree. You know,
lead by example, buddy.
but it's like that for women, for men and women, because
Yeah.
women as well seen their men.
Right.
Not all the men are fit. Not all the men are maybe time to go to gym
Right.
6 times a day.
Right.
And take supplement.
Right.
And all those things that they take by the way that they don't say, and they say they are natural.
Oh my
That's
God.
another
That's
problem.
That's a
another
topic
subject
Fab's
topic.
passionate
Yeah.
about.
Oh yeah. Oh
Okay.
yeah. They're all natural. Natural is eating fruit and veggie. No supplement, nothing.
All right.
Okay, thank you. So when you compare again
Right.
yourself with those people, or when you compare this woman with your woman, because sometimes we compare ourselves to someone,
Right.
but what I think the worst is when you compare your woman to another woman that you've seen, or your man as well. When you start to lose this attraction, when you start to lose this physical attraction,
Right.
what do you think is gonna happen after?
Right.
What do you think gonna happen after? Because it's not because you lose this attraction that you don't love your woman as well. You know
Well,
what I
I
mean?
feel like you don't,
I
because
mean,
you don't.
You don't
No.
sincerely.
Because when you love somebody unconditionally, you're
Yeah.
gonna love that woman. And you
That-
know what? And if you don't like what she looks like at the moment,
Yeah.
you're gonna try to help her. You're not gonna make her feel like a
Oh, yeah.
piece of nothing.
Yeah. I mean, well, maybe the love wasn't the thing. It's not like they directly want to leave,
Yeah, they just want to
So
put her
they're
down.
gonna-
They just want to make her feel like more crappy than she
Or they're
already
not gonna
feels.
say nothing, and they're just gonna cheat.
Oh, cheat. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's that. There's
You know
that.
what I mean?
Right.
And that's the thing.
And mind you, they're gonna cheat with people who don't look like
Don't
the
look like
Instagram
the
people
Instagram,
that
but-
they want. But all right,
That's another problem.
let's move on. I
Let's
think
move
we
on.
spent a lot of time on it. Let's move
Yeah,
on what breakups feel like. What breakups feel like. And it's crazy because neuroscience will tell you
Yeah.
that grief from death and the feeling of sadness when you lose someone from a relationship or a divorce,
Yeah.
they feel very scarily similar.
It's understandable.
Right.
It's understandable.
It is.
The thing, the sentiment that you have, you don't see them. It's not in the physical world.
Yes. Yes.
So we minimize
Yes.
their effect on us because we don't see
Yeah.
until it's happened to you.
Right.
And now you understand that mental health or whatever, it's sometimes more painful than a physical pain.
It can, yeah, and science and research will also tell you that mental health, or not mental health, that emotional pain
Yeah.
can be as painful as a physical pain. You can physically feel the emotional pain. You
Yes.
know, and I'm sure we've all felt it actually.
Oh yeah.
Like
Oh yeah.
we've all felt it. Like even just like simple things like somebody you love getting hurt
Oh yeah.
and you feel the pain in your stomach because they're hurt.
And it's a scary pain.
It is, yeah.
It's scary.
Sorry, I just want to laugh because as I said that, I keep thinking about how every time you hit your knee or something, I laugh, but it's not. I'm sorry.
Yeah. That's what she do. We're gonna leave it in
It's
the
a,
episode
it's a nervous
for
response.
them to really know who you are. That's who she is.
It's just a nervous response, babe. They do really love you unconditionally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
I love you too. Yeah. The emotional pain.
Yeah, and so also the other thing that when we were looking through the research that we found was that so when a breakup happens, whether it's like long term or whether it's divorce or whatever it is, men and women have different responses to that, and women feel the pain more intensely
Yeah.
and quickly.
Yeah.
But they're able to get over the breakup.
Yeah.
Whereas men don't feel it at first. It takes a long time because a lot of men, you know, they pack down their feelings, they suppress their feelings. It's societally unacceptable for men to feel, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
And so then it takes many years to get over it, or sometimes they never get over it. And it's because of that lack of facing the issue, of facing the pain.
Yeah. Lack of facing. Or like even to recognize
Yeah.
the pain.
Right.
You know? Lack of understand the pain.
Yeah.
All these things that men have from the education. It's always educational. We always come back to this.
It is.
They won't teach us that crying is good. They won't teach us that even if you feel sad, that's okay. They won't teach us that sometimes you won't have the answer for something, and
It's
that's
okay.
okay. Just work on it.
Yeah.
You can find it by working on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's very true. Most of the time, when a man will break up, he gonna go and he gonna try to find a girl and he's released.
Absolutely. Is having sex,
Having
talking
sex.
to other girls,
Exactly.
getting validation from others.
But this pain, like we said just before, this pain is there. You can talk about 2,000 girls. If you, for example, really had a relationship, a long-term relationship, or even a strong relationship with this person that you just lost, this pain will still be there. And at one point, when you're gonna have to face it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
when they face it, like you said, after,
Yep.
it's hard for them to process it and to work on it and to try to erase
Yes.
this. Why the women, I feel like as well, by the fact that they talk more about their emotion,
Yes.
will be able to share this emotion with their friends or someone. We talk about it, we process it, we cry, we do whatever happened, whatever their body
Feels at the
feel
time,
and
yeah.
release, they're gonna let it release. If they have to cry during 1 week, they will cry during 1 week.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But after that, it's done.
It is.
It's done. It's processed. The machine, the engine.
And it is interesting that you say that. It is processed. And what you were just talking about is so important because men, even when they break up, they don't usually go talk to their friends about it.
Oh,
They don't talk
hell.
about their feelings. They might
No,
be
we
like,
don't
"Oh, she's done this, and that." Some people won't even tell you. Some people won't even tell you that they broke up with their girl.
Yeah.
You're just gonna find out when they bring another one.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know? And whereas women, somehow we have created these like friendship communities where we talk to our friends about everything. We talk like every girl has a friend that they tell almost everything to.
Yeah, we
Or
talk surface.
multiple.
As men, we talk surface level
Exactly.
in term of emotion,
Right.
in term of problem, in
Right.
term of if it's good, that's okay. We're gonna
Yeah,
talk about it.
yeah.
But in term of all the other part of a relationship
Yeah.
and a relationship in general, we talk surface
Surface.
level.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I can't imagine a bunch of dudes sitting around,
Yeah. Oh
talking
my
deep
God,
things and
I
crying
was.
together.
Oh my God, my heart.
Right. Whereas girls will sit together and cry together
Yeah.
for each other. You know what I mean? And so, yes, some of that is healthy
Yeah.
and some of that is not. So, but that release in general is healthy.
The release in general is healthy. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's all about, how comfortable you are talking about your emotions is how comfortably and quickly you're going to get over the situation.
As men, and as a man as well, but as we, I would say, don't release our emotion, then we are the first target for the mental health issue, depression, anxiety. After a breakup,
Right.
it look like it's the girl because they
Yeah.
release a lot of emotion. So when we see a girl cry and all of this, we think like it's more the girl. We are okay. We are no,
Yeah.
no. It's the man. So as we keep our emotion and we don't talk about it, we don't even know how to talk about it, and we don't release our emotion. The risk of suicide it's 4 times higher for men after divorce than women,
That's crazy.
and that's true because I hear story about women who kill themselves
Yeah.
for a man, but most of the time I hear that for a man.
Well, yeah, women usually, I mean, I don't really want to get into this, but they usually do that because of abuse, because they've been abused.
Because they've been abused. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah,
Whereas
yeah.
for men,
For men, it's because
it's
the men.
because of the pain. It's
Yeah.
because of the pain and the depression and the anxiety, which, also leads to substance abuse and
Yeah,
self-medicating.
yeah, yeah.
And
yeah.
when you self-medicate, it makes it a lot worse. And so, I mean, we know that men are more prone to suicide than women because of mental health issues, but
Yeah.
for it to be 4 times,
4 times.
that's
It's a
insane.
lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. Imagine because we all know the feeling that you have when you lost someone, but at the same time on social media you can still see her live her life
Oh my God. Yeah.
with someone
Yeah,
else.
yeah. Right. Right. And that's
That's the pain.
that's interesting because when you lose someone from them passing away, you can imagine the ending to your liking of what could have and would have been, regardless if maybe it wasn't a perfect relationship.
Yeah.
But when you break up with someone and you always have that what if. If you don't deal with it, if that voice in your head, what if I coulda, woulda, shoulda, that regret, it really eats away at you.
I mean you're going to imagine her
Oh my God.
with
Yeah.
the other partner that she have,
Right.
and you will be able to see it sometime
Yeah.
in live,
Right.
in stories, if you're not blocked from everywhere. You will be able to not just imagine, we will be able to see it,
That's very
to
painful.
feel it.
Right.
It's painful. And on top of it, no one to share about it because
And that's crazy because a man will move on and expect the woman to just deal with the other chick. But a woman who's healing usually won't move on straight away. But when she does,
what she does,
woo,
she does.
it's gonna mess up even his relationship
Yeah. Yeah. And again,
because he didn't expect that.
yes. And again, we don't say that it doesn't happen for women too.
Of course, yeah,
Of course.
yeah,
But
yeah,
it's 4 times.
right,
We talk about 4 times higher.
yeah, of course,
So it's a lot.
of course. And look, pain from breakups depends also on how you broke up.
Yes.
You know what I
Yes.
mean? And how, like, if you're breaking up and you're over 50, that's
Oh.
very different than when you're in your 20s and you're in your prime.
Prime. I like
Prime.
this.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I just mean like physically.
Oh yeah.
I mean, statistically, you're more in your prime in your 20s than in your 50s. So when you break up with somebody 50 plus, you have to know that maybe you will be single forever. And that's very, very, very scary.
That's another big emotional stress.
Exactly, because it's not just yeah, it's not just the fact that you no longer have this person, but you might have to do things alone forever.
Exactly. Also, it's not about just the prime and the physical aspect. It's the fact that in generally, when you are 50, for example, and you were with a wife during 20 years,
Yeah.
it's 20 years of your life.
It's a lot.
You don't. Do you see yourself doing another 20 years? Start.
Oh my God.
You know?
Yeah, imagine mingling at 50 trying to get to know
Try to-
somebody, asking them their
as-
favorite color and shit.
Yeah.
That's
when
crazy.
you come from a 20, 30, I don't know, years of relationship, you know, and after also the fact that thinking, because when you are 50, 60, you're not that old, you know, you're not that old, not anymore, but you still more close to
Yeah, the other side, like
the other side,
retirement at least.
yeah, and then just your younger self.
I mean, the upside is you will have more time to date in your retirement, right? But just saying.
If you have a good retirement, that's another problem.
Facts.
That's another problem. But I wanted to say that I think that you will think
Yeah.
when you will be older and you are single again that am I gonna be able
Oh yeah, of
to
course.
love someone again? You
Oh
know,
yeah.
you're already 60. You're not gonna change. You're not gonna change for people.
You should, but yeah, not
You
change
should-
for
no,
people,
not change for
but
people.
like
You should not, but
you should keep evolving
Yeah,
for sure. It doesn't
exactly,
matter how old you are. But
Yeah,
yes,
yeah, of course. You know it's.
people are stuck in their ways by that age usually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. They're not gonna compromise on many things.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
You know. So it's another point of view.
It's the same when you have children. Like if you divorce and you don't have children, it's probably a lot smoother, you know?
Yeah.
But if you have children, that divorce isn't just between the two of you.
Yeah. And this emotional pain is not only for you.
It's for the children as
You
well.
have to manage your
Yep.
emotional pain
Yep.
and the emotional pain of your children. And you have to be able to do this job very well. Otherwise, you're going to let these children grow with trauma.
They're probably going to have trauma anyway, but I think my thing is like what I've seen is that it's usually one parent who is tasked with dealing with the emotional residue of what it happens to children when a divorce happens. It's usually, you know, the mom having to manage her own emotions, which is extremely difficult. Also, the emotions of the child.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult to navigate when you're feeling broken. You know, to try to be logical and reasonable and, you know, to explain things in a manner that a child will understand.
Yeah, because you don't want to be too vulnerable in front of your child.
Right.
You don't want them to see you cry.
Right.
You don't want them to see you sad.
Right.
You know? But at the same time, you have to manage it because they
Right.
need to understand that it's life.
Right.
And things happen as well sometimes.
Yeah.
You know? So it can be very hard, like you said. It can be very hard.
It can be, and it's more so hard, I think, when parents never fought in front of their children. And then, you know, they break up and then the kids are like, what?
Yeah,
And so then you start having, there's issues that come about, you know, like all of a sudden they're not doing good in school. all of a sudden they have behavioral issues and they're acting out.
Yeah.
And so you're also having to deal with that. And you can't necessarily blame them. And so it's just like a domino effect of how it works, you know?
Yeah.
And also finally, it's a very different feeling if you break up with the person rather than if the person breaks up with you.
That's another.
Because if they break up with you, that's a change you didn't want to happen.
Yeah.
That's a change you didn't want to happen.
Yeah. It's happened to me. You know?
Yeah.
But even I could see it coming.
You could see it
I
coming.
could see it coming. But I'm not. I wasn't the one who said it. So that's the thing as well. I wasn't the one to say it. So when you feel like, in my situation, for example, I feel betrayal.
Really? Okay.
I feel betrayal. I was like, oh, okay. Even if I knew, you know, even if I knew that it wasn't toxic, but it wasn't going well.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Were you hoping that she does it so you don't have to? Because I've been in that situation before where you're scared to do it because then it's your fault.
I had this in mind the whole year when the thing wasn't going well. But the thing is, like, during this year of cyclone,
Yeah.
I said to her, but you know when you say it without saying it,
Yeah.
you know, you say, but let's break up if nothing's go well, you know.
Right.
And your partner say, no, I don't want to break up, and
Because you took her by surprise.
yeah, you know.
And so then.
So after I'm like, okay, I say it.
But you also put it out in the universe, which is definitely something that we talk about of not doing if you don't want to break up.
Exactly. And when it happened, even if the relation wasn't very good, I feel betrayal.
Oh yeah.
I feel like, wow.
Did you feel relieved?
I feel relieved. It took time.
Okay.
It took time.
Okay.
It took a bit of time.
Yeah.
To feel released, because at the beginning you feel all you feel like, you know, you had planned, and this plan, the future that you were imagining, just erased in front of you like that.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah.
So you know you have to take time to
Come back
and think. And as I'm a thinker as well, I think a lot.
Yeah.
So I think from far away, from future, and things so I'm like, oh, okay. And we were in another country, and you know, and everything. So I was like, okay, wow. It took me like not that long as well, because it was 1 year, you know. So the process was already like starting, I would say.
I completely
You know what I mean?
can relate to that. Yeah.
I already start the process, and consciously, I would say.
That's interesting, because I think a lot of, and what we're going to talk about next is how long does it take to get over a breakup. But I think a lot of the times when you're having issues for a long time in a relationship, that point of healing or understanding that it's about to happen begins before you even break up. Like in the relationship, for maybe one or both of the people.
Except if someone were cheating or having they were having another life behind your back,
right?
And they decided, okay, now it's good. We already have our apartment, and except, okay, I'm done with you. I'm taking everything and I'm leaving.
That's harsh.
That's the only way I can see that you can happen. But in general,
when it's by surprise.
But when it's by surprise, but normally, like you said, the process, you know that it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So your mind start to shift.
Yeah, generally one person just thinks the other person's never going to leave, and then they do. You should never think like that. Yeah. You should always try to be your best self. You should always try to be your best self in a relationship so that you can inspire your partner to be their best self. But if we speak from a statistics point of view, there are studies that say that it takes about 11 weeks to get over a breakup, which seems very short. Very short. I don't think you can put a number like that on it.
I don't think so. Because also, if you're in a relationship since 20 years,
Yeah, exactly.
if you're in a relationship since 4 years,
Right. It's very different.
it's very different.
If you're in a situationship,
It's very different.
it could still be just as painful as a divorce, though.
Also,
For one party, doesn't necessarily mean for both.
you know me about the definition of situationship. Only one know that it's a situationship. The other one think it will be a relationship.
Yeah, the other one is hopeful.
Exactly.
One has hope and one is comfortable.
But that's why I feel on this stat, you cannot put a number, a special number.
No,
Because it's depend of the relationship. It's depend how the relationship ended,
exactly.
you know? Because not all the relationship ended in war.
That's exactly right. Some are very amicable. Some are very, people decided that they both wanted to break up, that it was the right time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
some people are very rational. So,
Yes.
yeah, of course, it is very situational.
So the amount of time that you will need to heal depend on how you end your relationship.
Yeah, of course.
And also how powerful as well was your relationship.
Well, that brings me to my next point where other studies say that it takes half the time of the amount of time you were in a relationship to heal. So let's say if you were in a 20-year relationship, it would take 10 years to fully heal.
To fully heal, yeah.
To fully heal. And however, you can look at it as if the last 5 years of the relationship were trash, you started healing from that point, and then technically it takes 5 years then if if you do the math. That's another piece of research, which, again, very dependent on the circumstances. But as we know, there are 5 stages of grief.
So the 5 stages of grief are denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance.
Yep. And you know what? Each of them take a hot minute to get over. Because in the beginning, when you just break up, you're like, your brain is like, this isn't real. You're in shock.
Yeah. It's hard to be denial. You feel like that's not true.
Yeah.
You're going to come back.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going to come back. That's okay. But until you see 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, until you see that, no, he's not going to come back.
Well, especially if y'all are used to breaking up and making up.
Yeah.
It takes a long time to come to the realization that, oh my God, it's maybe they're not going to come back this time. This time is different.
This time is different.
And when you realize that, then the anger of comes in.
I really did it.
You mad. You mad about the situation.
Yeah.
You mad at them. You're mad at the world. You're mad at yourself.
Yeah.
And then that takes over your rational brain.
Yeah.
And then when you go into bargaining, it's like a little bit of, bargaining is like a moment of desperation.
Yeah.
Because that's when it's really settling in, like, oh, this is real. And then you're like, maybe trying to get them back. And then you start thinking, well, what can I change to change this reality? So you start to scramble and you start to make plans to run into them or to call them, or what if I just change this, or maybe I can change. Maybe I should, And then you are in this state of like real desperation because you don't want that future to be true.
For me, when you are in the bargaining situation, you directly slide to the depression.
Yes.
Slowly. They are mixed together.
Yeah.
I feel like,
Yeah.
because it's you have the trait of depression in those bargaining as well. Because you try to understand. You try to understand, but you have no answer.
Right.
And the answer they're never gonna fulfill your what you are looking for, you know? Because it's done. It's done anyway.
That's one thing that I think is the hardest is when you are in that depression mode after a breakup and you're just thinking, but why is this happening?
Yeah.
Why did it have to be this way? Why? Sometimes you never get that answer. And that's the part I think as humans we have a really hard time with is the why.
Yeah.
But why do you have to behave like that? But why did you have to do that to us? You know, why did you have to cheat? But why did you have to leave me? You know, and it's like, even when you know the answer, you don't know the answer.
You don't know the answer, but yeah, that's the thing as well. We are in depression because also we don't ask the answer to ourselves
Yeah. Fact.
fully,
Yeah.
and we don't listen ourselves. I mean, you are in depression, so it's gonna be hard. You are in this different stage, so it's gonna be hard. And but that's the major problem because you try to ask question about your ex-partner
Yes.
who's not next to you to answer you.
Right.
So maybe you're gonna do assumption, but you know that it's come from you, so doesn't mean anything as well.
Right.
But you still ask yourself, you know, it's
It is.
it's just a circle.
It is. And it's like, why? Because you associate it to love. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
you're just like, why doesn't he love me enough? Why didn't he love me enough? You know? And then that's when you start to feel sorry for yourself and for the situation and, you know, for the future, because you're not only mourning the person, you're mourning the future.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes actually love doesn't have anything to do with it. Maybe you're even out of love. But the fact that you're out of the relationship,
Yeah.
it's as if a part of you
A part of
died.
you die, yeah. Yeah.
You know?
And yeah, like you said, the future play a big part because all the time, most of the time, it's painful because we feel like there's no future
Yeah.
anymore,
Yes.
or we have to rebuild
Yes.
something going to lead to our future.
And you're going to think things like, but no one's going to make me laugh like they did. Or no one's going to be better than that. Actually, maybe I had it really good. Or, you know, how am I going to find someone that's going to be doing this, and that? You know, and it's a tough one because then you start to criticize yourself and to be really negative.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But once you reach acceptance, I think that's when you understand the situation, you fully acknowledge that it's real, that it's happening,
Yeah.
that you're single, but it doesn't hurt anymore. The only thing is with the stages of grief is not linear.
Yeah, you can be an acceptance, and one time you see him just there next to you when you are going to the groceries
Yeah.
with another person.
Yeah.
And then you go back to the depression.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you go back to the
Bargaining. And you go back and forth, and that's why I think it can take years to fully reach acceptance.
Yeah.
Because you're like going back and forth. You know what I mean? But it's crazy because I think a lot of us, when it comes to breakups, when it comes to grief, we associate all of that with love, and we put so much importance on love itself. But if we put so much emphasis on love in a relationship, why isn't love strong enough to hold relationships together?
Because we don't have the same definition of love.
Do you think it's also because love is not enough?
It depends what love means for you.
True.
Although it's always that. It depends what love means for you.
Right.
For some people, love is just the word, love.
Yeah.
They don't associate things behind it. It's just together, we love each other. That's it. For me, love, the word is just a word.
Yeah.
It's what I could call it whatever. Love is just the word, but it's the effort that you put in this word who means something.
Yes. It's the
It's
actions.
the actions.
Yeah.
It's what you're willing to work for. Who create the word love.
Yeah.
Love is not just there because you're together, you're in love. No. You can be together during 10 years and you're still not in love.
So true. You think you are.
You
There's
think
like
you are,
different
but
types of love though.
yes.
There's different types of love, and there's like that brotherly love,
Yeah.
the eros love, which is the sexual attraction love.
Physical, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then there's the unconditional passionate love.
Passion.
Right. True love.
True love, passion. Yeah.
I think a lot of people, when they say love, they want to mean unconditional love, but it's really not.
You can say it. As long as you, how much I don't know how many times you can say it. You can say it. You can say it.
Yeah.
But if you don't put the action into this word, doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
You can say I'm passionate.
And
It
that's
doesn't mean anything.
I'm passionate. Are you?
Doesn't mean anything. The action gonna talk for you.
It's true.
You know.
It's true.
And that's why a lot of people say I love you to everyone, to anything.
Yeah, you can say I love you at the end of a phone call,
Yeah.
every phone call, and go and cheat on your partner. Say love you. Okay,
I love
bye.
you, yeah.
You know?
They even say more.
Right, right.
You know, when you understand patient, but when you understand as well that word, they are so powerful.
They are very powerful. Yes.
When you understand that,
Yes.
there is so many things you cannot do.
I agree. I
There's
agree.
so many things you cannot do. And when you're passionate about someone, there is so many things you're gonna fight for.
Yes.
You're
Yes.
gonna fight for everything
Yes.
because it's passion, because it's the one who you choose to create the entity, who's love. But it's us who create this. It's not just the
Exactly.
world. Without you,
It's
there is half of this world who's out.
there is the unseen and the seen.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Absolutely. Absolutely. So in essence, love, true love should be enough. Because if there was true love, if there was true connectedness,
yeah,
you wouldn't allow it to happen from both people.
if
From
there is true love,
yeah.
you will work for everything
Yeah.
who come in the middle of your relationship. Who
And
try to
sacrifice.
break and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Who try to break what you create with your partner.
Right.
Same for your partner. Because sometimes you can have this you can work and put the work for your relationship and your partner doesn't do the same. That's the thing as well.
That's a lot of going back to
Yeah,
reasons.
to reasons, but
But one person can't do all the work.
Uh,
One person could do 70% for a limited amount of time, and the other does 30. But you gotta swap over. You know what I mean? There's times.
and you're not gonna find a lot of people who are aligned with you
Yes.
in the amount of work that you have to put to reach the long-term relationship, but to reach this unconditional love. That's why you need to be careful when you say that I'm done. You
Yes.
need to be careful
Yes.
because sometimes it's just a question of what doesn't work.
Yeah.
Let's work on it.
Right.
You know.
Right.
But
Put
if
the
you
ego to the
put
side.
the ego to the side and let's work on it, because what I'm gonna lose is not just you.
Exactly.
It's the whole.
It's my children. It's our future. It's a
everything.
part of myself.
Exactly. Who's gonna leave?
Yes.
You know, and you're not gonna be able to find it again.
And sometimes it's necessary. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
necessary. And sometimes you do need to lose a part of yourself to become a better version of yourself.
Yeah. And how do you know that? By knowing yourself. It's always also about that.
Right.
You need to know yourself as well.
deep down, you always also know if that person is right for you. You
Yeah,
know.
you know,
You know.
you know.
But like, yeah, you definitely have to know yourself in order to know that. And just final note on this breakup subject, I think in order to get over and to heal from a breakup,
Yes.
one of the most important things to do is to stop putting expectations on yourself on how long you need to heal.
Yeah.
Because we're all different. Circumstances are different. And don't compare yourself to others.
Never do that.
And don't make them make you feel like it's taking too long.
It takes as long as your mental and physical health tell you
Exactly.
that it's take.
Exactly.
That's it. And you know because it's you. You know, you feel when you start to heal. You're gonna feel, you're gonna see your partner somewhere and you're gonna feel that
It's
there's
okay.
nothing. It's okay.
Yeah.
He live his life. I do mine. You're gonna feel these type of things. So that's why we said don't compare yourself to others because you don't know how they end their relationship. You don't know what they are doing, how they are working on themselves as well. You don't know. They don't tell you that they take a form or courses or something like that. They don't tell you that they go somewhere to meditate.
To a
You
retreat
know,
or something.
they
Yeah.
don't tell you this type of
Right.
things. So you have to be careful to compare yourself. Because otherwise, you will go back in this grief stage all the time. You will go back, you will go out, you will go in, you will go back, you will go
Exactly.
in. Acceptance, denial, and all those things. You will go back all the time. So sometimes you need to isolate from the world a little bit and focus on yourself.
Yeah. Not too
You have
much.
to do
But yeah.
not too much, but
Yeah.
sometimes you have to. At this moment after the breakup,
Yeah.
you will have to. You will have to take time with yourself.
Yes.
Have date with yourself.
Yeah.
You need to date yourself.
It's your journey of healing. So you should do it the way that feels best for you.
Question time for the fam.
All right. So let's see what questions you've asked us this week. What is the worst relationship advice you ever got?
Worst relationship advice you ever got. Wow. If I think about it, leave her, she's a bitch.
Wow. Oh my God. Who said that? Was it about me? I was going to say, what the hell?
No. I had friends who wasn't in a relationship and was trying to give me advices. So you know that when they are not in a relationship, they just want you to come with them.
Ah,
nightclub. You know what I mean?
okay. Yeah.
So, I knew it.
That's not nice.
I knew it.
Is that real advice? You being for real?
No.
Oh, okay. You just made that up. Oh my God.
Because in generally, before I wasn't talking about my thing. And in this relationship, no one give me bad advice because they know me.
Oh, cute. Well, I feel like I want to share this because it's kind of funny. When I was going through like a really hard time, I went to this doctor. She was Russian and she was such a G. She was an older lady. She had on heels, mini skirt. And anyway, she told me that I don't know how to keep a man. And I was like, I came here for a doctor's note, girl, and not a life lesson. But anyway, she told me to take this piece of paper down and write down her advice. It was extremely entertaining. So the first advice was when your man comes home, you got to get up and greet him. I was like, all right, whatever. Second advice was never clean or do anything in the house when your man's not home. Only do it when he gets home so it looks like you're busy.
Wow.
I know, right? A third advice was, oh my God, what was it? I was just trying to tell you last night. What was the third advice? Oh, yes. Oh, when you're cleaning or doing something, just like randomly, just be like, what would I do without you? To your man, just like to make him feel special, you know? And then she gave me a bonus advice. She was like, take this down. It's a bonus. But I was only supposed to give you 3. So the 4th one was, if your man ever asks you for an opinion, you just say, I don't know. But I know when the time comes, you will have the right answer. I didn't try that because I didn't have anybody to try it. I wouldn't anyway. But my friend tried it. And her man was like, I asked you for your opinion. Like,
That's what
it
I
was
going
like,
to say.
what?
That's what I was going to say. This girl probably doesn't have a husband.
It was so funny. And you know, the best part about the whole story was, as I was leaving, she goes, you didn't graduate yet. She said, put it into practice and come back and give you more. It was the best.
I mean, I don't even know if this girl had
terrible advice.
Terrible advice.
But it was the best. She's a G. Yeah. I love her. Anyway, okay, so my girlfriend of 9 years has recently left me for another man. She warned me many times and I didn't listen. I feel like I lost the love of my life. What can I do to stop thinking this way?
Watch the podcast again. No,
yeah.
But what can I do to stop thinking?
If she was the love of your life, you wouldn't have lost her.
Yeah. Yeah. But what can he do? That's the thing. Time. Time. And time. You only need time. And you need the time to process. You need the time to understand. You need the time to understand why things happen.
Yeah.
She warned you many times.
Yep.
You know that you didn't listen.
Yep.
So you need to understand why you didn't listen. You know? Because it's very rare that someone said it was the love of my life and she tell me to do something and I didn't.
I don't think it's rare at all. I think people do it all the time. People take granted. Yeah,
it's rare that people understand that after and say that straight away in the question. You know
true. Yeah.
They won't say she just leave me.
Well, that's very self-aware then.
So that means if you already know that, you can work on it. And if it was about some things that you can work on, maybe you can go back to her.
Okay.
That's the thing. If you really work on it.
Yeah. I definitely think that you either leave with love or a lesson, and you haven't lost the love of your life. You've gained a valuable lesson. It's very difficult to change your perspective in a time of grief, but you need to practice altering the reality in your brain so that you can understand the gift of loss. Because eventually, if you do learn your lesson, you will get maybe even something that you couldn't even imagine.
Yes.
That's better. So I think that programming your mind to look for positives and to self-assess and to reflect and to stop viewing it like a loss of the love of your life and view it as the lesson of your life to gain a love you never even thought could exist will help you in the process of, stopping to think this way and also healing.
Yes. Yes. Nothing's too hard.
Okay. Do you think getting back with an ex is ever a good idea? Oh, yeah, that's funny.
That's funny. In generally, I would say no. Because when some things break, it's break. But there is circumstances. Sometimes you make mistake. Sometimes you do what you have to do to work on your mistake. Sometimes you become another man.
Yeah.
Sometimes you evolve
Yep.
and you're ready to evolve.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you needed that to understand what you have or to understand the value of your partner.
Yes.
I don't say that it's a good thing, but sometimes you need it.
Yeah.
And when you realize it, yeah, maybe it's good to try to come back. When a betrayal happened, when there is a betrayal, cheating, and yeah, there is different type of cheating as well.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's those type of betrayal, for me, it's very hard
Yeah.
because when you break the trust, your relationship that you will try to start again will be a totally new relationship. It's not gonna be the same. So I won't even call it a comeback.
Mm-hmm.
It's a new start. If you
Yeah,
allow
that's true.
the fact that you want to start again together, it's a new start, and you need to understand it. You need to process it because it's not gonna be the same.
Right. It's a
If
whole different relationship.
so, there is circumstances.
Mm.
You need to understand if you're ready. If you're ready to make the work. I don't know if it's you who cheat. I don't know if it's you who break up. I don't know if if you've been cheated on and you have to accept. This is that as well because this question is big, but
Yeah.
you need to process the different parameters to understand: is it worth it? Is it really worth it? You know, but yeah, yes and no. That's the thing. It depends of the circumstances. What do you
Yeah.
think about that? You think?
Well, of course, it's circumstantial. I definitely think that it's very important to remember why you broke up with somebody in the first place.
Yeah.
And if it's a situation where you've evolved, a majority of the time you've evolved out of that relationship. So again, it can work for people. I'm not saying it's impossible, but to be honest, I do think that when you put something in the past, that's where it should stay.
Okay.
That's just me. In your opinion, what is the key to conflict resolution in a relationship?
Communication is key. But it's not just communication to communicate.
Yeah.
It's communication to find a resolution
Yes.
and to understand as well why you were arguing.
Right.
Why? What leads to this argue? You need to have a process in your relationship where when you're arguing, boom, we enter in this process after.
Yeah.
Okay, we had this argue, we were angry on each other. Okay, now it's time to do the things.
Yeah.
And it should be natural. Okay, why? What's happened?
Yeah.
Why we talk like that? Why we misunderstand each other? Why did you feel this type of way?
Yeah.
You need to ask questions
Yes.
to understand, and after to process it because it's gonna happen again. But if you know why and how it's happened, next time you're gonna process and deal with it way better.
Yeah.
And until one time, it's not gonna be an argument anymore.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's a wrap.
Big rap. Big rap, fam.
Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit that like and subscribe button. Tune in next week. You will not want to miss it.
And until next time, fam, take care and nurture your relationship.
Relate right.